Big money.
Yay!
Yeah! Live and in color.
What? And with cookies!
With a service cookie. I told Jackie that I was taking this cookie for Facebook Live, and so I wanted
for the good of all mankind
to make sure
and
that
womankind.
she saw that I am in fact partaking of this service cookie.
Torture.
Peanut butter.
Torture. And they have chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip. We got all kinds of things. Because I wanted to give service a plug.
Because we love
Not
our
only
service
for their
department.
cookies, but for taking care of our guests.
Yes.
Day in and day out.
Yes.
There was a lineup today. And
But it goes fast.
You should have seen the people from everywhere that came
For the
out.
cookies?
No, not just,
They just came for
it
the
wasn't
cookies.
for the cookies. Once people saw there was a lineup, people came from everywhere to see and help out with that.
Because they're on it.
Yeah.
They're on it.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
That's my honey.
I know,
Hi,
my favorite. He's almost like a co-host because he's here with us every time.
He is.
That is called fandom.
Fandom.
Groupie.
Yeah, he's, I think, our number one fan. So my husband and your wife, number one fans.
Yes.
And your kids.
Yes.
And Ava's watching.
Good. Hey, Ava. Welcome.
Yay.
Welcome to the party.
Awesome. You're watching. How are you watching and you're here? There's two of you?
Well, I like to go on, and this is what I recommend everyone does. I like to go on to my little face tube
Can you
here.
see that? Oh,
Angle
come down
dangles.
Here. Oh, boy.
Anyway, it's there.
You know,
Trust
sure,
me.
believe him.
I like to go on there, and I like to share this, as I recommend everyone else here does.
We do. We love it.
And make sure that it...
share.
Yeah, share, like,
comment. Jinx!
Well,
You owe me a cookie from the service department.
sucker.
Okay. Or I was wondering if maybe you were here and you were live because you're multicasting.
I could do that.
Like our HD radio. What
That's
a segue.
Right. That was good. Wow.
I need a segue. I should ride on a Segway. No, never done that. We should do that.
HD radios.
HD radio. Oh, we'll talk about HD radios instead. So the Lexus vehicles since 2015 model year, lots of HD radio action has been happening. So that's basically when it was introduced. So depending on your vehicle, you may have HD radio, you may not have HD radio. I'm sure there are aftermarket kits and things like that, but certainly when you get a brand new Lexus, you're going to have
You
HD
get that
radio.
HD radio.
HD radio is more than just radio, so we want to make sure that we talk about that. But we want you to understand that different generations of HD radio offer different features, so they have different capabilities. But the gist of it is, it's like DVR, but for radio. Is that a good way to describe it?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to intro it. I also say, we often talk about how HD radio gives you CD quality listening.
Crystal clear. Stronger
signal, yes.
Definitely.
So it's going through a different band than your normal FM AM because it actually comes across a digital.
Yes, but do you lose your analog stations?
Negative.
No. Now they do piggyback. So if you are listening to a station that is an analog station, it's going to have a digital signal piggybacked on top of it. So you can sometimes hear something that they call the HD echo. That has gotten better and better and better.
As the network's gotten better and better.
Correct. So I'm now driving a 2018 NX with NAV, and I don't hear that echo very often.
Not right now. She's driving. We're parked.
Not now. We're parked. Otherwise, we would have seatbelts and a different camera person. But what I do want people to know is that that's normal. It's kind of like if you're listening to satellite radio and your signal drops out, when it comes back on, it's there again. But with digital and analog piggybacked, if your digital drops out, your analog will be there. So that is something that can happen. That's totally normal because it's still trying to maintain that signal and connection for you. Now, you do have to have the digital signal before you can start tuning to these multicasting stations. So let's show people. Do you want to show people how to do that first? What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's go into
that.
What do you want to do? Let's say hey to Edwin. Edwin, thanks for the shout out.
Hi.
Good to see you here on the Facebook Live Tech Tips Tuesday.
Excellent.
And let's get right into it, shall we?
And we have Temi. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? I'm sorry if I am not pronouncing your name correctly.
Well, I'm glad that you're here. And again, even if we aren't live, we do keep these on Facebook,
They're
but
on
then
Facebook,
they
they're on
also
YouTube.
are over on YouTube.
Absolutely.
I told a customer today who Melissa actually did the main delivery on, and so I hope that the McFaddens, once you guys see this, you go back and you check it out on YouTube, because they're not on Facebook. So people like that, we want to make sure you check it on YouTube and figure out all these little intricacies of your car,
Absolutely.
because whether it's an NX or an RX or an ES or whatever vehicle you're in,
Yep.
there's pieces of this technology puzzle that we put together in our Tech Tip Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Let's get into HD radio.
So, thumbs up. Okay, Timmy, thank you. Yay! All right, so we are learning about HD radio today, which I did say goes beyond just radio, because your HD signal pulls in traffic and weather information in NAV and non-NAV vehicles. It does it a little bit
Without
differently.
subscription.
Without subscription, that's correct. So we used to have that with a different service. You did have to subscribe. You no longer have to subscribe. It comes with your digital radio, which means you do have to be in range of that digital signal. But even with the subscription version that we had in the past, you have to be in range.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. The signal is required, and we're going to show you how to check all of that out. So the first vehicle that we're starting out in today is the 2018 NX. We will then go to, what do you want to do next? Gen 9 Navigation RX?
Yeah, let's do the RX.
So we'll do RX after that, and then we have a non-navigation ES for you to take a look at, so that you can see that they all have HD radio, just a little bit different. So let's check things out. All right, we're
You
still
saved
here. Woo! Let's check things out. Real. All
awesome.
right. And I love that. Do you hear Eric go, cancel? All right. So right now we are on my son's favorite radio station. That'll tell you his age range right there. But let's go to presets. And let's notice this very first HD station, because if you are a Houston local who likes classical music, if you haven't discovered this yet, you are going to be so happy to know that Houston's classical radio is right here alive and well on 88.7 HD2. So if you notice, it's trying to tune in, right? We had to grab that signal. It's just beautiful.
So if at first, and here's where I'm going to pull my line I've been working on.
Okay, pull your
If
line.
at first, when you tune to 88.7,
Okay, we'll go there.
you might feel as though it's Baroque.
Ha 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 ha.
But negative, you actually probably went to HD1, which is another channel.
Correct.
Okay.
It's not because you are Baroque, because you're out of Monet.
Yes.
Aha! Oh, the jokes keep getting better.
Oh.
So if you wanted to tune to a HD station
Right.
that you hadn't saved yet, so for example, if we go to 99.1, so 99.1 Sunny or Coda, that's our big local station here. I have not saved a preset yet for HD, but if you look, we've got 99.1, HD1, HD2, HD3. So I can just tune, and I can either use the tuner dial, or once I'm on the station, I can actually use voice command. But if I go to 99.1 HD2, this is actually 7:40 a.m. coming through HD2. 99.1 HD3 is an iHeart program. And then if I want to go back, I can just tune left and then end up back on 99.1, their primary station.
Right.
Now, once I'm on the analog program in a Gen 10 car, I can voice command tune to 99.1 HD2.
Tuning to 99.1 FM HD2.
Bam!
So again, I want you to clarify that for me.
Okay.
If I was not on that channel,
It will not work.
okay.
Watch. So let's do this. Tune to 88.7 HD2.
Tuning to 88.7 FM HD2.
It did it. So earlier it couldn't acquire the signal, and it said it was not available. So Just give it a try.
But you've been in the car now, which is segueing into another issue that we're another benefit that we're going to talk about, called caching. But I wonder if that has something to do with it.
It could, because I've been in the car now for about 20 minutes. So
Yes. Okay.
Did you know you can find that on your multi-information display? Oh,
There it is.
there it is.
Uh-huh.
After start. Just wondering, how long have you been in your car? So if you use your voice command and it says it can't find it, so it'll say it's not available, because that's what I experienced earlier, then just tune to the main station. So tune to 88.7. Then
Dial
once
over.
you're there, you can either dial over or you can voice command again. Tune to 88.7 HD2.
Right.
But interesting that it worked. My friend Wade was doing this with me earlier, and it was working on his Lexus. He's in an ES. He's in a non-NAV, and it
Okay.
was working great
Yeah.
for him. But he'd been in it for quite a bit.
Right.
So I bet it has to
that's
do
something
with
to do with
that. Very
Hey, Doug, how are you,
interesting.
sir? Thanks
Good
for joining us.
Gosh, woohoo! All right, are you ready to talk about? So we talked about multicasting.
Yeah.
Everybody gets that, right? So does everybody get that? Let's see. So, do you remember when television went digital? Do you remember that? You're too young. See, I remember that.
I had
So-
Farmer Vision. I had 3 channels.
Okay, so we went from 3 channels with
And digital antenna.
right? And
Right.
so it kind of exploded.
And
There
you
were
had to
all
have
these
the-
stations.
yeah,
Had to have the right
Adapter.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
now they all come with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So voila.
I had one of
HD
those. I had
radio.
a digital, so I could plug my airwave antenna into the digital box that I had. But
Aren't
anyway,
you so glad you don't have to do that?
Yeah,
All you have to
that
do
was
is drive your
2000 late.
Lexus and it's already
Yeah,
in there.
yeah.
So what's great about it is multicasting. So these programs are happening simultaneously. So it could be a sports station, it could be a talk station, and it's just piggybacked right along with the regular station
Right.
that you're already used to listening to. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's talk.
Let's go.
Cache radio.
Cache
Does everybody
radio.
know what cache radio is?
So
You ready?
my favorite thing to show off
Okay.
the Lexus product is
Such
the
a show
cache radio system.
Okay,
It's different in this Gen 10
correct.
system than it is in the other one.
For a couple of reasons, because
Yes.
you can cache satellite radio on a Gen 10 NAV unit, and on Gen 9s you're going to be doing FM predominantly, but there are some AM HD stations, just so you know.
And it piggybacks on something that, if you don't know, you've had in Lexus and even Toyota brands for a long time, using your mode button on your steering wheel.
Yes,
So
love it.
if anyone there knows how to...
Mike Driscoll wants to know when the show tunes start.
Yeah.
So are we going to be listening to the Broadway station? Or are we supposed to sing together? What do you want to sing?
Hello... Anyway,
Are we singing Hello Dolly?
I don't know.
Let's not sing
That's-
that. Let's sing something else. All right. Well, you send us carpool karaoke. Oh yes.
I'm a genie in a bottle. Oh no, that was the recent one.
Oh, dear.
Tune into that
Tune
instead.
in. Tune in.
We're now Thank you, Ava. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you. All right. So we are going to show you caching your radio, which on a Gen 10 is actually called radio replay. So I want to
Radio
make sure
replay.
that yes, Eric Allen in the house. Hang on. All right, let's take a look at the screen. So on the left-hand side where we see radio replay, you are probably wondering, what in the world? Right? What in the world? Okay, so if I receive a phone call, if I receive a text message, if I send a text message, my system is going to automatically start caching. Now, obviously, we're talking about a Bluetooth paired phone, so that the systems can communicate back and forth.
And you see here that obviously we have a phone connected.
And we have HD active, right? Our little HD
We have the
symbol lit up
signal.
orange. Which station are we on, everybody? HD2 for 88.7. Classical music in Houston. Oh, yeah. So now we want to identify some things going on at the lower part of the screen. So we're on an FM program.
Right.
That allows us to cache or save or record 20 minutes of programming. So we can either click the pause button, or we can do Eric's favorite, which is to push and hold the mode button on the steering wheel. So this is me choosing to manually activate the radio cache or the recording or radio replay. So you can actually see it counting up from what it's recording. I can either just push the plus symbol to volume up, and then it's going to restart my program. I can rewind a second at a time, or I guess 2 seconds at a time.
Just push and hold that. I love this.
If you push and hold, you can go brrrr.
Love this classical.
Right, love this. This is a top 40 classical. Or we can click to zoom back. So we're zooming back by 2 minutes. Now, this presumes that you have enough time cache to go back that far. Or we can just go live. We can say, oh, you know what? I have this recording at home. I'll listen to it later. So we can just go live. Now, let's change to a satellite station, because since we're in Gen 10, it is a little bit different. So we will scroll through our presets. You'll notice as we're moving from station to station in our presets, we've got different times. So there's our 60 minutes. So 60 minutes available. What are we jamming out to now? We've gone to the 50s. Brooke Benton.
Ooh, Jared says he likes the 80s on 8.
80s on 8. Yeah, those are the bomb. Okay, let's what? Jefferson Airplane?
60s on 6. That's for Mike.
We are cruising through the oldies, people.
There we go. Some John Cougar.
All right. There you go, Jared. Just for you. All right. Now, what do you notice about these programs? They all have the 60 minutes, right? But if I go back and I have saved one of these as a preset, I'm actually going to even get more control. So let's come back. Oh, watercolors. We can be very relaxed. This is a fan favorite here at Northside Lexus. All right, so here's the main thing I want you to know about. Not only are you able to cache 60 minutes on satellite radio, but once you've accumulated enough cache as you drive, you can keep scooting back like this, just a couple seconds at a time, or you can go back track by track.
Let's start this watercolor jazz over.
Exactly. Are you feeling jazzy? So it's going to go track to track, kind of like a Bluetooth audio system. So the other thing that's built into that is in your settings. So if I come to options, there are things that I can turn on and off here, but I can also go to the main menu and go to settings. But this Sirius XM tune start, so we see that second one, that allows you to have the Sirius XM stations play at the beginning of a song.
Right.
So if you turn your car on and you land on each station and you kind of frequently are at the beginning of a song and you think that's odd, it's because it's programmed that way. But if for any reason it does not start you at the beginning of the song, just remember to just click this go back button.
If
and
Love
it will
Street's
take you
your favorite jazz tune,
it could be.
You're always there and ready.
And then if you take a look at your preset page, notice how we have this symbol for Sirius XM, that radio replay. That means it's actually a smart favorite. So it's caching simultaneously 20 Sirius XM stations as a smart favorite. This is his impressed face.
What?
20. So you can manage your favorites. So if you save more than 20 Sirius XM stations, you have to go in and you have to pick 20. That's a lot.
I always make a joke. I was like, if you get 36 favorites, because you do have 36 favorite presets,
correct,
you get a free car.
No,
I haven't seen it.
You don't get that.
You don't get a free car.
Maybe from him, but no.
See Jared.
No. No. So what I love about the smart favorites is that it caches all of them simultaneously.
Right.
And I just think that's really cool. So if you're on a long trip and you're jumping through your presets, you can have a lot of control over how far back do you want to go, how far forward do you want to go, do you want to just go back to live? And I think that's awesome.
That is awesome.
So there.
I love this.
Dynamic duo. Thanks,
Paul. Thanks, Paul. And
we're more dynamic because of you and this gimbal camera holder that he let us borrow.
Look at this. Whoa. Thanks, Paul.
Wow.
our shout
So
out.
you're not seasick watching us today because of Paul Drennan. So
That's right.
please give him a shout. Get some
Give him
light
some
bombs.
jazz hands.
We need some light bombs
Jazz
and jazz hands. All right.
All right.
Yay. Okay, so traffic and weather information. Let's check out the traffic on the map. All right. Let's see. So if I push my map button as we're grooving out to our watercolors grooviness, your traffic highlighted information, if it has the little arrowhead on it, that means it's a traffic flow pattern information. So green, yellow, red, which we currently don't see, but let's just check out more of the city. So I'm just zooming out. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good over there. That means the lane is closed. If you're not sure what's happening, you can just hover over one of those satellite radio shortcuts and see this little double chevron. Everybody wants to know, what's that button? You know, you have that button on the car.
Yeah.
So
Let's see if we can get to that.
It's right here. Can we get to it without making that terrible noise?
I think so.
So if I highlight first.
So using the remote touchpad.
And then I push my little double chevron. Look, I get all kinds of information. It lets me save that point, enter it in case I wanted to go there, or potentially get more information. So all of this is your entire system working together.
Right.
Yay! But remember that this traffic information is brought to you by your HD radio as well as weather. So we can use the menu or we can talk to our car. Show weather.
The forecast for today is cloudy with a high of 82 and a low of 68.
68 to 82. That's like Texas.
Yeah.
Pretty darn good. Are you sweating? You're dying
of course.
here?
It's already happening.
Poor thing.
That's why I
This
need that
Canadian
splashdown pass.
summer.
Thanks, Jared. Yeah, right.
All right, the other thing I love is when you're in a navigation vehicle, you have a weather map available. It is Doppler, and the information is brought to you by your HD radio. You can also notice that it's part of your weather channel information, so they pull that from there. Now, we're overcast, we're not seeing an actual weather event right now, but if we were, you have your little colored key on the bottom right hand side. Is it raining anywhere?
No, we see
Not
a
right
little
now.
bit of something.
Those
yeah,
are
you see how it
mountains.
starts changing. Yeah.
So traffic
cool.
and weather from HD Radio, no subscription required. You can check your 3-day forecast, and then you can actually just hop over and click on that particular day, and it tells you how long ago it was updated. So as of 5 minutes ago. Now in this area we did have some severe weather. A lot of areas across the country have had random weird storms. So if you have a severe weather alert on your vehicle, just know that it will go away, but it stays on until they release it. So we actually don't have control
By
over
they
that
meaning
signal.
the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel or the
Update that
HD
we
broadcast
did it.
company.
Yep.
Exactly. So it is something that if it's saying severe weather nearby and it happened yesterday, it's going to happen until it doesn't happen. But I can tell you that we've given Lexus a lot of feedback about this. A lot of Lexus technology specialists and guests across the country, and they are working with the company that created HD,
Right.
and they're working with the programmers and the software developers to see if there's something that can be changed, to see if it would be something we could turn on and off.
Just
But
like on our
currently-
phones.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. But right now on a Gen 10 system, it's not something you can turn off, and it's not something we can update. Same with Gen 9, you can't
Right.
update it either. But it's something that was customizable at one point. So if you have questions about your vehicle, call us, 281-569-3300. Ask for technology and we'll help you out. We are going to go look at a
Which one now?
2018
Let's do it.
RX navigation, and it's a Gen 9 vehicle. So let's go take
So
a
a
look
little
at
different
that.
look than this, but of
You
course.
talk and we'll walk.
Yeah, we'll talk and walk. A little different look than this, but you're going to see a lot of similarities between this and the Gen 10 that we're in the NX here. Let's see if we can't get on over here. As she said, a little overcast today, but we're making it work here at Northside Lexus. All right.
It's toasty. It's toasty in here.
Let's see here. There we go. Color up a little.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Okay, so now in the Gen 9s here in the RX.
We're just booting up the car. And bear with us because this is a vehicle that I just got the key to. So it's going to be very exciting. We've got satellite radio playing the Gulf Station PGA Tour.
There we go.
Now on this vehicle, we're going to operate the controls a little bit differently. We are using the remote touch, which is the mouse style remote touch. So if I click down, I can select presets. I do want to point out that this system has different ways of viewing presets. So on all of them now you can customize how many presets, so you can hide pages. But on this system you can change from an individual preset mode, which means you have 2 pages of FM, 2 pages of AM, 2 pages of satellite.
I need to cool my Canadian bacon down.
There you go. Or you can click to what they call mixed presets. So you'll notice
that's
at the
what I like.
top left hand corner, it's kind of like a file drawer. That is the title of the file. What am I in? What am I looking at? So we're in mixed preset mode. Even though it says individual presets right there, that means I could choose individual presets. But mixed presets is my favorite way to go.
Yeah, it's a go-to.
And we want to hop up a couple of pages. Let's see if we have any programming that's already on here that's HD. And we don't. How do I know that? Because I don't see any HD 2 or 3 or whatever stations saved. So let's just click on our KSBJ program. So, and we'll jam out a little bit. Now, this is an analog as well as digital station, but remember the primary stations do not show HD in the title. So if I want to go to the second station for 89.3, I turn my tuner dial one time, and right now they do not have a multicasting program available. So just be aware of that. So let's go to... Because weren't you telling me they just had their
yeah, they
multicasting?
just switched to over to another one.
And it's got its own radio dial.
Yeah, 91.7 engine now.
Pretty cool. So these, you know, this is a developing, changing, this is a living thing, your radio. So now we're on 99.1. We were listening to that before. It's going to light up. And now we have HD1, HD2, HD3 all over again. So I can just turn a click at a time, and we've gone from their primary station to talk radio, and then to their other program in the holidays, iHeartRadio. In the holiday season, when they are playing Christmas music, their number 1 becomes Christmas, their number 2 becomes their current primary,
really?
So they're easy listening.
Okay.
So in the holiday times, if you're on 99.1 and you're like, okay, I need a break from the Christmas carols, just go to 99.1 HD2 and you will get their regular program. But
as
it moves over to
regularly
digital.
programmed.
Regularly scheduled program. Excellent. So a little bit different. Now if we want to cache, so remember we were caching and things happen automatically. If I got a phone call, it's going to cache for me. Hi everyone. Can you do that?
Yeah.
So if I'm driving and I get a phone call or I make a phone call, it's going to cache automatically. But if I want to cache it, so let's say I know I'm about to make a phone call and I just decide to be proactive and cache it anyway. Take a look on the screen. This arrow, which a lot of people who I've done follow-up tutorials with tell me, I didn't even know I had that. Click to open. This is your cache program.
See, this is new for me. I did not know that one.
See? Now we're going to use your favorite. We're going to push and hold the mode button, and we've paused our live radio. So that's one of the big differences from Gen 9 to Gen 10. On Gen 9, we're pausing live radio or caching live radio. On Gen 10, you also get to cache your satellite radio, which is not live.
Yeah, I mean, I never used this button before. I've always just done it on the mode button on the steering wheel there.
So now if I click here,
volume up.
Right? Mm-hmm. So this just to go into this arrow button, really we're just visually seeing our controls. Because if I push and hold mode, it's going to start caching, but I don't really know that. I just see that it's paused. But what people don't realize is that when you're pausing, you're caching, you're recording. And then you can go in and we can go back to the beginning of what we cached. We can scoot ahead. We can come all the way back again. We can go live. So you have a lot of live. We're on a totally different song.
Look at that.
Cool, huh?
Yeah, that is awesome.
Now, also Gen 9. So this is, again, it's an evolutionary thing. So if you have a Gen 9 vehicle, I'm going to teach you about this. If you like it, yay. If you don't like it, continue to ignore it. It is not on Gen 10. So if you like it and you have Gen 10, I apologize, but it's not there. So we have to just embrace the speed of technology change.
That's right, as it comes.
And keep going. So tag. People say, what is tag? Here's the deal with tag. You have to have an iPhone. You have to have an iPhone paired to the vehicle. You have to have a taggable song. If it's taggable, the word tag will light up and you can click on it. If you click on it, it's going to tell you it's storing the information. Then it's going to tell you very, very quickly that it's been sent to your iTunes library and it's going to be available. Information, if you leave, was tagged. I can't even read it that fast. You're going to have to watch this on the replay and tell me what it says. So the gist of it is, if you tag a song, so we've already tagged it, now it's not available for tagging. Do you notice that?
I did
so
see
tag
that.
is now gray. So now when I go home, I can link my phone to my computer, go to my iTunes library, I can search my tags, and if I like something, I can buy it.
How
iTunes,
great.
Right?
Perfect.
So
Better
it's
way
kind
to
of,
spend your money.
Exactly. So I used to say all the time, it's iTunes' answer to Shazam.
Right.
And now iTunes bought Shazam.
They did.
Shazam.
But that kind of feature is pretty cool because then later you can go back and do it if you utilize it in that way.
If you use it,
I'm glad you did a little overview on it there so we can find out exactly what that means.
Absolutely, no problem.
And then
what
we
else
can
do you
go
want to
from
know?
there. Same thing with weather and
traffic.
Weather and traffic
So
in this.
here's our traffic. Right on the map screen. If we go to our weather, again, we could voice command it. We can go to our menu, click on info, and then you'll notice we have traffic and weather information.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but I think it looks like it's going to rain. But let's see. The map's going to say no. No rain.
Let's zoom in on that. Even if you zoom in, it won't pick anything
No, we're
out.
as zoomed as we can get. We can zoom
Where's
out.
it coming from then? Because it definitely is gonna. It's either forming something. Anyway, I'm no weatherman or woman for that.
Let's check. Let's check. See what it says? Partly cloudy. Let's look at the 6 to 12 hour. Did you know you could do that?
Maybe
We didn't show you that.
Maybe 20%.
And it says HD, the Weather Channel, as of 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's
maybe,
our little advertisement.
Maybe they're going to change their minds. Maybe.
Well, that might be the 20% we're looking at.
It could be. Could be.
It's a great job. I think it's Lewis Black who says, "What's the definition of a weatherman?" Liar.
Oh!
So, anyway.
Ay. All right, let's go back to our radio screen. If we want to see our presets, we're going to click on presets to make them visible. So again, just depends on what your vehicle is, how it's equipped, and you've got all the information right there. If you want to see
Let's
details,
save that as a.
you want to save it as a favorite?
Yeah, as a preset now. Just so we can show that it maybe would change it.
All right. Push and hold. Boom.
KODA HD2.
Coda. All right, nice. Are we ready to go to the next car?
I think so. Let's go look at that
non-NAV
non-NAV
ES.
ES?
Non-NAV
Okay.
ES.
So again, we have the same functionality as this, just in a little different way to do it.
A little bit different
All
because
right.
there's not a map, so we're not going to see traffic in the same way. So let's check that out.
Yeah, the traffic incidents, again, that are still updated from the same HD signal that you get your traffic and weather through, will show up on these other cars as well. So that's why it's good information for if you are going down the road, and whether you're using Scout GPS Link or maybe you're just streaming the weather from your own phone. that you can actually see these kind of things. So here we are in a ES350. This is the interior, which I love.
It's out of control.
Okay.
Out of control. Dropping keys.
So let's start this beauty up.
You guys are so patient, kind. All right, let's check it out. I'll do Eric speak. Let's check it out.
Okay.
Okay, we need some air conditioning.
That's regionalism at its finest.
I could do the Texas version. Let's check it out.
Y'all.
Y'all.
All right, so again, non-NAV car. Let me show the interface here.
A little bit different. And this is also evolving.
Right.
Because there are different systems with touchpads that are non-NAV, and it's just like on the NAV car.
Right.
Just the touchpad interface is different. So this is always a remote touch device because you are remotely operating the screen rather than touching the screen manually. Okay, so we're going to push menu. And let's take a look at our traffic and weather information first, just because on non-navigation vehicles, I think people just assume they don't have this.
Right.
But they do. So we've got a traffic incident list. So it's acquiring our signal. And I will tell you that the radio loads first, and then traffic, then weather. So let's go ahead and help it out. Let's turn our radio on. And let's go... I love this shortcut. So we've got 104 KRBE HD1. We have our digital signal because HD is now highlighted in orange. So we could find out what their second program is. Let's see. Totally different.
Seeger. There we go.
Okay, so this is their first station right now. Is on an ad. Their second station.
Let's save that as a...
Save
Man,
that.
let's save some Bob Seeger here.
Push and hold.
Yeah.
Let's see if they have a third program. No. Let's also show, I want to show how, see that little search icon, the magnifying glass? So I can't get there if I turn my dial, right? So a lot of people only know that they can turn their dial, but you can toggle. So if I toggle, I can get more information. I can get a station list. I can do texting. You can get a station list on the NAV cars too.
Right.
Very cool. If you don't, you move to a new area, you're not familiar with the stations, on the NAV cars, AM, FM, and satellite channel list, station list, very, very cool. And then if I toggle to the left, I can scan, I can seek, or remember we mentioned multicasting?
Yeah.
This is where you find it on non-NAV, and it'll jump you through. But I think the tuner dial is just super easy. No radio caching, so be aware of that. But if we look down at the bottom, it does say tag. Let's see if we can get there. How do we tag on this car? There it is. Okay, so it just had to be taggable. So let me show you what I did. So part of this is just being willing to explore. So you have to...
Your new car.
You have to just get in the car and start pushing buttons, not while you're driving. All right? So what I discovered is it said tag on the bottom left-hand corner. So as soon as it grabbed the signal, it's taggable. But again, if I spin, I'm not able to get there. So even when I toggled, it's not getting me there. It's taking me to the next page. So I'm going to toggle to the left rather than toggling down. And before, that was not available.
Right.
It was grayed out. So now I can tag it. It's going to store the information.
Doing the same as the other one. Let's see if we can catch this now.
And this will be interesting because this is the technology.
Yeah,
found.
saved your iPod.
Pretty
Next
cool.
time it's connected.
Pretty nice, right? So slightly different verbiage, but the gist of it is if you have tagging capabilities on the vehicle, you can kind of Shazam your music. Pretty awesome.
That is great. Now let's go show that traffic there.
Okay, so we're back to menu, info, traffic incidents. Here's our traffic map. So it's a little bit different. You cannot zoom in and out, but you can turn the dial to get a glimpse at a different part of the city.
So it's showing you like around the Beltway, there's some issue.
Exactly. We know where we are because the circle and the triangle, that's us.
Yeah.
All the green is good. We're flowing. Yellow, slow, red,
so on
bumper
these,
to bumper.
on the non-NAV cars, it's going to show you more of the major highways.
Correct.
Not so much the secondary, like 1960 in the navigation.
Correct. Correct. Did we do the weather? I forgot.
Let's do it. Remember, it was loading.
It was loading.
So
yes,
we got our HD
that's
and
right.
our weather channel
That's
signal.
Right.
And now we're going to go current.
I need
See what
your
we're doing.
young brain in the car to help me remember what we did.
So it's updated 20 minutes ago. Again, HD, and the channel is giving us that info.
Excellent. So keep in mind when you hop in your vehicle, if you are wanting to see weather information, boom, right away. If you have a home screen button that's customizable, you can put your weather there, but you will see it's going to say downloading for quite a bit, because it needs to grab the signal. So if you're listening to maybe Bluetooth audio or satellite radio and you feel like that signal's
Might
not
not always
coming
get
in,
that digital signal across.
right? So hop onto an HD station. So go to FM predominantly, but there are AM stations. But go to FM, tune to an HD station, let that signal grab. Then you'll notice your traffic information will load next, but the weather takes the largest signal.
Right.
So give it time to connect, and then it'll be there for you.
Well, and the best part about all this, like Melissa said numerous times, is that as you explore these different functions of the car, you'll enjoy using them a lot more. So
Definitely.
I always have go-tos, like I say, in the other cars, the using mode to pause live radio, and in saying things like show forecast. And on these ones, I always like to show accessing the weather and the traffic incidents on that map so that people can see, hey, I have access to these things without a subscription, even though we give you 3 months free of satellite radio.
Yes.
And they'll mail you. But anyway, you get the access to these kind of things long term. Because
Yes.
it's all through that digital signal now.
That's right.
So.
That's right. I also think it's really neat, like the one car, the RX that we were in, they were listening to golf, right?
Right.
So if you are listening to a sporting event that it's critical,
Yeah.
and you
No
get
spoilers.
that phone call, and you're like, no!
Or Rockets games right now.
Right.
You know?
So automatically it's going to cache. So you can go live or you can replay it. So as long as you have cache radio
I wonder
on
what
your
station
vehicle.
I can listen to hockey down here.
Hey, there's
I need to find
NHL.
it. There is NHL on XM.
On satellite. So if you're in a Gen 10 car,
60
with
minutes.
Nav, you have 60 minutes
I
of
can miss the
hockey.
first period
Don't
and
you
then
know?
catch up.
A hat trick. That's
right,
3
yeah.
goals by the same person.
Good. And you're good.
I used to play hockey.
And you spent some time up north.
I did. So thank you all so much for watching.
Thank you for joining us.
We hope you had fun learning with us today.
Tech Tip
about
Tuesday, HD radios.
HD. Tech Tip Tuesday, every Tuesday at noon Central.
Strangely, that Tech Tip Tuesday is on Tuesdays.
Huh.
Just weird how that works.
That's, what a coinkydink.
Shout out to Mark Green for suggesting HD radios.
And we are supposed to say shout out to Gertrudo.
That's right. He
So,
did give us
shout
a
out to you from our last video. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for watching. I know you were watching on the replay. Maybe you'll catch us live sometime and we can shout you out live and in person. But thank you, Gertrudo, for watching.
like, share, post any questions you might have for us. And if you have any questions, join us here at Northside Lexus or call us 281-569-3300.
3300. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. If you have something you want to learn about, let us know. We love hearing all of your ideas and input. Thanks a lot and enjoy your Lexus.
Have a good day.